My dear South Africa, let's have a chat. The situation of the country is getting really out of hands, and something needs to be said. Today, it's AKA that has been forcibly deceased because looking at all the parameters, it should be very much alive and with us and prospering in his talent. This goes beyond the crime of having him murdered. This is actually a very foundational issue that has been going on now. You might wonder, how does this correlate? Yes, it correlates in the sense that you go on Twitter, the hate that is being spewed on foreigners, on immigrants, particularly immigrants of African descent, is just so heart-wrenching. There are actually Twitter pages that are designated towards hate on immigrants of African descent, more focused on that, and by our fellow African people, fellow Black South Africans. What this does is, you might think it feels good when it's the foreigners that are being down-talked, that are being labeled, that are being stigmatized, that are being removed from jobs that they qualify for and have the proper documentation for. But what this does to the people, the indigenous people, is that it's brewing people with so much hate in their hearts. It's grooming people to be very malicious. You cannot sow hate against foreigners and expect that, okay, the people that are being groomed psychologically, this poison that you are preaching in the hearts of fellow South Africans, will only be targeted on foreigners, and they will treat other South Africans better. It doesn't work that way because it's a mental problem. You are reforming their psychology to becoming hateful. Don't forget, yes, it might work for some time on Black other immigrants, but there will be South Africans that will have the upper hand. They will get more successful than other South Africans. And the people that you have groomed to hate foreigners because you are creating a jealous scenario, they will also apply it when they feel they are lagging behind in success. And why is this other person doing better than me? You cannot sow hate and reap good. There are terrible people all over the world, and definitely there will be terrible foreigners in your country. But I can tell you for a fact, there are so many African immigrants across Africa, even Nigerians, that you hate the most. Or let me say that you talk about the most. because I don't believe hate is hate. So nobody is competing for who is more hated than another person. But even Nigerians that you talk about the most make up a huge number of legitimate professionals in South Africa doing great things. But the people are constantly fed the story of how it's only illegal things that Nigerians do in South Africa. Of how it's only illegal things that other African people do in South Africa. These things have a reverse effect on the people. More than 95% of, let me not exaggerate, but a good number of immigrants have left this country. Eventually, you will be left with the very same people you groomed to hate foreigners, to attack foreigners, to act a certain kind of way towards foreigners, to deprive foreigners of opportunities that they actually qualify for and the best fit. I will leave it at this for now, because there are a lot of things that I have to say based on personal experience of over 15 years. The malicious tendencies towards African immigrants. Yes, I'm emphasizing on African immigrants because the white folk, the other folks from all the races, it's not only white folks, there are, people of Asian descent as well. They tend to fit more into the other racial groups in South Africa and do not face such discrimination. So it's usually the African descent people that are at the receiving end. Nobody should be at the receiving end of hate. But I'm just saying the group that is more suffering of such effects. We can do better as people. You can read this and say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that you are creating a dilapidating country. Cheers, and that will be it for now.